There's only one way to start this week's show. What is quickly becoming my new favorite show, Better Call Saul, is back. So I'm still on, full disclosure, no spoiler alerts here. I'm still on season 5, but I've been straight binging. It was a little slow, but I don't know what it is. I almost like it better than Breaking Bad. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I don't know. It's trending right now because it's currently in its new season.
I've heard people say that it's, if not better, just as good as Breaking Bad.
Right.
Just because of the whole, it's a cool concept to see how because I never knew that about Saul, that he was just a fucking loser.
No, and what's cool is it's totally different because Breaking Bad was so cool because it was like, drugs made by the ordinary guy. And then there was his life went into shambles because he's involved with the cartel and all this stuff. And, this on the other side with Saul, it's kind of like how he's a con man, how he's so good at talking, how he's a great lawyer, but he's just always in trouble. It's fascinating. Vince Gilligan, who's the creator, right? He literally just went from Breaking Bad, had the smash hit, and then just spun it off to another smash. Like, I don't think there's many shows or guys that have been able to do that.
Yeah. Especially with a prequel at that. It's hard to master that.
Like Gus is in this one pretty heavily in Better Call Saul. Like you see those crossover characters, how certain people came to be, like Hector before he was in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
How he got the bell. Super sick. Without further ado, I've got, it's quickly might be trending in the 10 out of 10 direction for me. I've got my 10 out of 10 TV shows right here off the bat.
I'd love to hear this. Let's hear it.
All right. So here we'll get out some of the ones where you might be like, what, really? The Dropout, just recommended it. I loved it. You're watching it. Yeah, go ahead.
Is this in order?
It is no particular order. These are just my 10 out of 10s, like my damn, shows that I would rewatch. So The Dropout's great. Jack, you are currently rewatching Friday Night Lights. 10 out of 10.
Watched 5 episodes on the plane last night. I can't get enough.
Yes. Feel free to interject to any of these. I'm just going to read them. Community. Great. It was ahead of its time. So damn funny. And they called a lot of shit. Like this was right before Web 2.0, I would say, when social media really kind of took over.
I would say it's definitely one of those very underrated shows.
Certainly.
And if you've seen it, then you understand why it's so funny.
Bojack Horseman.
Never watched.
I was kind of like, dude, what animated? What am I 10 again? Loving The Simpsons. It is fucking awesome. It is so funny. It's hilarious. It's dark. Like, who's the guy? Will Arnett's the voice of it. Oh, it's perfect. I think we talked about this Sharp Objects TV miniseries with Amy Adams. Holy mindfuck.
Mindfuck. That shit's good. That's like my genre right there.
Yeah, 8 episodes. Like that one's perfect. If you're looking for something, you got a weekend free, binge Sharp Objects. Game of Thrones, obviously. Parks and Rec is a classic. Got to throw that on there.
I love Parks and Rec. Some people are like, oh, they're trying to make it like The Office. I'm like, well, yeah, because it's created by some of the same people, but it's it's hilarious.
It's Mike Schur who went from The Office literally and created Parks and Rec. Then I haven't watched The Good Place, but he did The Good Place, which apparently was not half bad for network TV.
I've watched that. It's just kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's like heaven versus hell, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan, for you is the funniest thing you will ever see. You gotta watch that. Monk is just a cult classic from my youth, and I rewatched it recently, and I think it still holds up in terms of entertaining. True Detective season 1 is the best thing you will ever see ever created, with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and just the overall story. And The Sopranos. Just classic.
I'm big on Monk. I feel like there's not a lot of people our age who watch that really, but
I didn't.
I just remember this kid I hung out with in middle school Like he'd be playing Xbox, and I was never really the Xbox one. And him and like Kyle and a couple other people would be playing Xbox, and I'd go upstairs like grab something. His dad would be watching Monk, so I would just sit up there with him and watch Monk, and then I started watching Monk after
I was gonna say it's totally a show where like you're staying at your grandma's and she's watching it on a Thursday on USA Network.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I loved it. I've got 10 out of 10 movies, but I don't want to drone with just lists. Maybe I'll just sprinkle them out throughout the summer because I've got a good deal more throughout various different episodes of Wingin' It.
It'll take me a while to analyze mine, but I'll bring my top 10 ever shows next
We'll call
week.
them armed, yeah, and we'll just throw them in here. Like, here's my first one I just rewatched, watched for the first time. I just can't believe I hadn't seen this before. Saving Private Ryan. Holy shit. I watched it on a plane. I was like on the edge of my seat. I didn't want to get off the plane.
Yeah, that movie's so like awesome, intense. Yeah.
I didn't realize you could make a movie that like it was so realistic for its time. You know, that was made in the 90s.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen that all the way through, which is kind of shocking.
Matt Damon, you know, that dude just loves not being in the bill, you know, not being in the advertisement and coming into the middle of a movie. He's so great.
Excuse my gallon of water.
Yes. No, stay hydrated. All right. So that's one. I'll just sprinkle them in. All right. Elon buys Twitter. What are our thoughts here? Initially, you know, people are losing their mind. I'm curious. Dude, I woke up and all of a sudden I'm scrolling Twitter and it's not working. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, did something happen literally overnight? My Wi-Fi was out. But I had a mini panic attack.
Jack, got any first thoughts?
No, you go ahead.
I mean, what changes are going to be? My mom was asking, is he going to take it private? Is he going to take it off the stock market now that it just bought it out? How about Twitter was like not going to take it, and then they were going to do a poison pill, and Elon's final offer that he said they end up taking no matter what.
What about, like you said, if he takes it private, I guess I had some of my first takes were surrounding that too. But we were just, someone at work mentioned that and goes, and then watch him just take it public and then like skyrocket his value again. And I'm like, that's a heady play kind of thing.
Dude, he was apparently Doge was surging because like he was just farting around on Twitter and someone was like, hey, you should make Doge like acceptable on Twitter. And like, you know, he could just delete it too as an app. Like, and people were kind of questioning. I thought this was a good point where it's like, you know, the world's richest person now all of a sudden has access to like the most influential tool ever. And this dude just read all our DMs? Like, you know, he probably has access to everyone's DM.
I thought that was part of it, that he, like in the agreement, he was gonna take it private. I thought that was
okay.
Like,
I might be.
I heard that it's probable too, but I don't know.
So we're all going to cash out. Like I made a good deal of money on Twitter when it went up to like $70 like last year, but I think he's going to cash out at like 53. So it'll be a decent payday.
They'll just pay you, send you a check and be like, all right, thanks for.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for being a shareholder.
I just said to the guy at work, I was like, I think it'll get worse before it gets better. And I mean that on a few different levels. Like, I think the app might have its own issues, like as they start to update things, and then just like user issues, and then people get frustrated with that. And then I think if it does go to like total free speech, as we kind of mentioned before, it's like, what can you do though? Like, you still aren't going to show like people getting shot and stuff. Like, you know, at some level we got to censor stuff, right?
Maybe like Reddit if they do that.
Right. And so it's just like, where is the line going to be drawn? Is it going to be fair? People are going to be mad. So I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, agreed. Wasn't it YouTube that kind of ran into this like during the war where they like they wouldn't like beheadings were showing up on YouTube and shit like that, and they had to get rid of that.
That's so terrible.
I know, it's fucked. You were saying before, Jack?
Two things I had in the tea that we can just knock out now that pertain to this is one, everyone was freaking out like if Trump will get reinstated, and Trump came out and said, even if I am allowed to, I'm not coming back. Well, he can't because of Truth Social. I mean, he's still, which is apparently just a dumpster fire, but he still, if he left, that would for sure be like, oh fuck. And then I'm so curious. Like, I hope they make like how they've made like this WeWork and this Uber TV show. I hope they make one about Twitter one day with Jack Dorsey, because he had to, like, there were all the rumors that he got pushed out by shareholders, and like that he's always been kind of quiet, but it seems like he kind of has more of a, I don't want to say conservative viewpoint, but like a different viewpoint than he showed in the past.
Yeah.
He came out and said the other day that Elon buying Twitter is the only solution, is the singular solution that he trusts to keep Twitter what he built it to be.
Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm excited and I think you are too, Jack, as like an OG kind of Twitter guy. Is like, is it going to be, a lot more fun? Is it going to be even better? Like, I use Twitter a lot, obviously, just being in like sports media, but holy shit, it keeps me so up to date with news. Like, as long as that just stays up there in the trending tab, I'm good to go. We're good.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. And I can't say enough, if something bothers you on Twitter, to just mute the word. It'll change your life.
Yeah, I haven't used that before, but that's interesting.
That's what I do agree with a lot of that. Like, add as much filtration, customization to each user, and let it then be the best app for everyone or whatever too. Like,
right.
I don't know. But what else was it? Oh, I lost my
dude is doing so much.
Oh, St. Louis boy too.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey is.
Really? Where'd he go?
I think he went to DeBerg. Yeah, he went to DeBerg, and he's like 10 years younger than my pop. Sorry, pop, but
yeah, I heard rumors that like, so Jack Dorsey, I mean, not unlike Elon, he's got multiple ventures. Like, he started Square, which like kind of, I think Twitter was kind of pissed off because most of his attention was with Square, even though he was like the main guy of Twitter, and Twitter just kind of sat and didn't really maximize what it could be.
That's why Square has one of their headquarters in St. Louis.
Okay, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
What isn't Square like? Kind of like, is it? It's not Square Pay, is it?
It's payments.
Or a Cash App. Yeah. Okay.
No, it used to be They used to have something to do with Cash App, and now it's like Square is like, those little white,
kind of like Zelle.
And they look like they have their side of it that they look like those iPads in a restaurant that like.
Oh, okay, all right.
It'll be like
airports
that.
or something.
But now he's shifting even more and putting all his time into. He's changing their name to Block.
Yeah. Okay, I saw that.
Yeah.
So kind of like Metaverse.
Yeah.
So, a man died after setting himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court to protest climate change. I mean, like, is this didn't even trend? Like, thank God I had the New York Times, and it's just like, dude, what? Did he accomplish anything except being everyone just collectively kind of just being like, what the actual fuck?
My first take was definitely like, you don't want to see that. That was like, I think the last time that kind of happened was Vietnam. I might be very ignorantly wrong there, actually, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like protesting something. Sure. Yeah. No, yeah. I certainly had. I wrote that down as soon as I saw that headline, just because I was like, what? That's one of those headlines where you're just like, what the fuck?
To play the side of like how everyone thinks, Alex, how you just said, you could be very wrong. I was reading that the whole point of like them doing this is like they get mad that the media covers up that they don't talk about climate change and just that someone like killed themselves. But I read in an article that someone else did this same thing to protest back in like 2018, and we've never heard of it because the media just covered it up. That is just some crazy person who killed themselves.
Wow.
So that's the only way they think that they're going to talk about climate change, but in turn, they just end up I don't know.
Well, here's what's even crazier is like, we all saw Don't Look Up. I think we all kind of collectively think, holy shit, climate change is, we're probably starting to more think it's weird because it's an age thing. And you know why it's an age thing? Because we're all collectively thinking the same fucking thing. Not in my lifetime. Our parents or the ignorant people are like, climate change, they'll be gone before that. I even think we are kind of just like, hey, maybe we're not, we're not doing bad things, but we're not super eager right now to do the good. Like, all right, we're listening. Because we still got to squeeze all the money out before it. Like, it's literally from Don't Look Up.
That is a good perspective too. It's not as extreme as the movie portrays it, but like that's what the whole we're not there yet, but we're starting to open our ears and
then
open our
even
eyes
the
to this.
once they saw the asteroid, but wait, can we mine it for minerals and make millions of dollars as it's coming to hurt us? But just before impact, let's make some more millions. Like the same thing with sports. Quietly, the NBA's back on in China, and it's like, okay, there's money to be made there, Nike. But that's the thing is like the owners, they don't want authoritative government to take over. They don't like China per se, their way of living and etc., their values. But hey, they're going to keep getting money from China until whenever that happens. If all of a sudden they try to become a world power and they no, you can't actually do business with China anymore. They're all just waiting. The Island Boys allegedly make out with each other.
What was that about? I didn't see it. I saw the headline. I just passed it up. I was like, what is going on?
It was like they had these two girls, and they were doing like a four-way. They were trying to like kiss, but then it looked like the Island Boys were like really, I don't know.
It was kind of hot. They were facing each other, and then two girls were facing each other, and they were all collectively kissing. And then I think there was like an awkward moment where commenters were just like, wait a second, is it just them two kissing?
Yeah, because of their hair. That might have been why they cut their hair.
Right. So they always like respond to comments. And I think one of the latest comments was the Island Boys about to come out for real. And I couldn't even, I just scrolled past. I was like, what the hell? And then, TMZ posted that this morning.
Dude, if they did come out for real, I wouldn't be surprised, actually. That was my thoughts after. I was like, you know what?
Maybe that is them. Yeah.
Made more money than I think. So.
To each his own. They're staying in the headlines, that's for sure. Okay, speaking of TikTok, is this gas hack real? I couldn't believe my eyes. Where you press enter and clear at the same time, right, on the keypad, and you can preset the dollar amount for how much gas you want. Like total life hack instead of playing that game where you're trying to time it with the old lever.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you follow Party Shirt on TikTok where they like test like their whole thing is they just like test people
like theories,
if it's fact or cap, that's their thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did they test this one?
I think they said that it didn't work.
Did it not work? Damn it, I knew I got fooled.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. So how they just doctored it? That's interesting. That video.
Or like someone who was working like knew I don't know exactly how it works.
Well, why are people doing? Come on, don't get our hopes up with something cool like that.
I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of stuff about this gas hack though from like even 2014.
Really? Maybe it does work.
I'm back. So I heard that you went. So is it? So it might not be cap or fact. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I'll let you guys know if I get to a bottom of this.
Well, is this cap or fact? The ducks in my pond, in the backyard, they're messing with my dogs. They're like riling them up, but it's like, I feel like it's on purpose, like they'll come up real close and start flapping their fucking wings and like splashing the water and getting my dogs all riled up. I think they're friends, but I could be just a stone guy.
It could be trolling your dogs.
Right. Exactly. Do dogs and ducks really interact? I mean, Scooby's all over it. Like literally we'll say ducks and he gets excited, like going out to see them.
Well, my dog definitely gets the fish. Like he looks for fish now. It's only been like 3 good catches off the dock, and all of a sudden he was obsessed. And every time I throw a line now, he's just like, pull up a fish. And I'm like, bro. How's
fishing season been? I've seen you've been getting out there.
I've been trying. It's getting there. It's like too cold still here, but dude, I quit fishing a few years ago, and I'm back. I'm definitely back. So
that's good to hear. Dude, fishing's always the thing that I say I want to get into, and I just never do. Now that I'm in Minnesota, it's on my fucking license plate, 10,000 lakes. We'll have to have you up here, Alex. We'll do something.
Yeah, we should do a vlog like ice fishing or something.
Yes, the crew goes ice fishing.
Dude, if we could rent one of those sweet vans where they just park on have you seen those things?
Yes.
Park them on the lake.
And then the ice hut and everything. Oh, they do it big out here. I haven't been yet. I know my buddy's got one of those. Hell, they fucking There was so my pond backyard. One of the houses has kids. They literally fucking freeze and water it down, make their own ice rink and shit, and they have their own ice hut. It's crazy.
Oh my god!
Apparently they got. I heard some kid here that him and his family and a couple of their friends went up to one where you can like it's like renting a cabin, but you can rent the little ice hut, and then within the rental place they have one like big cabin, and it's literally just a bar in there, and that's what you do every night, and they have like sports on. That'd be so fun if we did that.
Like a weekend. That'd be hype. All right, that's going to be in the works. Go check out that Andrew Mcbride interview, which we did last week. It was a lot of fun. We've thought about it. We've got a clip about how he was talking about how he literally, true to our podcast name, winged it for his first time up there in stand-up comedy. That takes some fucking cojones. But that's a vlog idea too. It's us just blasting like a sixer and going up and trying to do an open mic or something.
Wouldn't you have to like I feel like I'd have to go with at least 5 jokes loaded, but dude, I'm not a joke writer.
See, I'm an improv guy, so I don't know. Like I might have like 5 topics I could kind of fall back on, but I feel like once I get going, I could just I'm feeling it. I would go in different directions, but who knows? I'd also might shit my pants.
My knees are kind of shaking just thinking about it.
Yeah, so potentially in the works. All right, here's another one of my movies here. Gone Baby Gone.
Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Great movie. Still holds up, I think, a little bit older. Great cast. Alex, do you have an Indian burial story worth mentioning? Indian burial ground story.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week, and I was like, oh yeah, dude, it reminded me. So I worked with a crew of people as an intern. There were some fence installers, and they're going around this huge property. They're doing like, maybe like solar panels or something. And and they end up digging up, like hitting something, and like kind of moving over here, hitting something, kind of all messed up. They go down like with an excavator, dig up all the soil and find basically like this graveyard, but it was not graves. It was like scattered bones,
okay,
scattered remains. And so the messed up thing is they found enough bones to put about 2 people together, but they believe there was 4 or 5 different people there,
right?
So half the bones got like carried off somehow.
Taken somewhere else. Jesus Christ.
What is it? The local nations, and everyone all the chiefs came out, and like finally one of them claimed that like, this is our people or something like that. And so they start doing all the rituals, like reburying them and whatnot. But then as like this is happening, like bad things start happening right away. And so it starts with like crazy storms, and the next thing the real bad thing was that there was like a bald eagle that landed within like 100 few yards away from there, and then finally they like cleansed the land and everything was good. But after I heard like the story and these like 4 or 5 guys telling the same exact stuff, I was just like, all right, I think I believe in us now. Like
I'm shocked that it reminds me of that Simpsons episode where like all of a sudden they discovered it in their homes, and it was just like random acts of different shit were happening. But you were able to complete the project, so that's what's crazy is you had to invite these people in to be able to continue.
Well, yeah, like basically, yeah, it totally would have ruined the project. That's what basically got everyone to be like, all right, we definitely need to figure out whose remains, cleanse the land, even if it takes like having each tribe or nation come out there, like whatever we got doing.
Too much.
I guess it worked. Like after that is smooth sailing, and like the bird ended up flying off soon after.
All right, there you go. Yeah, all is well.
But yeah, it was nuts. I think there's something to be said about all that for sure.
Yeah, no, that's spooky. All right, let's get to the tea with Jack D. But first, I do just want to say that we do have our first sponsor. Don't want to we're re-rolling out May 1st. So I just want to say that we've got one. Paperwork is signed. I'm super excited. I think the guys are excited. We hope you, the audience, is excited. I was like, my goal was I think when we first started Winging It, a whole nother incarnation with the Platts brothers, with Aaron and Austin. But, I was like, I think first episode, I was like, I want to do a sponsor by 50 episodes. Well, We did in 64, technically 65, but you don't hit every single goal. But the sky's the limit from here. We locked that down. We're excited. So more of that to come. We're going to have an official rollout coming out here May 1st.
Huge thanks to you on doing all that work too. Like I know it was probably
what's funny is like, you know, I'm grinding. I was going through I moved to Minneapolis, you know, from South Dakota, starting my own company. I'm like moving rental house to here, finally got in a good spot and a place we bought. But I'm like I'm just bashing fucking Panda Express, and all these fortune cookies are like, you know, success is in your future, you know, money is coming your way. I'm like, all right, you know, TikTok. And then I guess finally we cashed in at least to start, but we're pumped.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. And we're also pumped to get caught up with the week in tea with Jack D.
All right. Future's new album is coming out Friday. I'm pretty excited for that. I don't know if you guys are Future fans, but
yeah,
his feature list is crazy.
What are some of, I'm a huge Future guy, probably my favorite rapper of all time, actually, him or Juicy J, but some features.
It's, you know, like Kanye, Drake, Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else, but just, you
Lil
know,
Uzi, maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the classics. Yeah. I mean, and the title of it is I Never Liked You. And the picture is him sitting in the back of like one of those tricked out cars with a sleeping mask on.
Yes.
So it'll probably be fire. Yeah. Netflix aims to have 50 interactive games on there by the end of 2022.
Smart, because they're fucking hemorrhaging money. I mean, like, good God, it was just a case of they got too big. You know, the pandemic literally shot them into the stratosphere to where they couldn't just keep exceeding those expectations. And, you know, people get spooked. They start the sell-off.
Yeah.
So this is smart to get, you know, I hope they have some kick-ass games, you know, that'd be interesting, but I don't know what it's going to look like. But that drives a new audience, and that's kids-based, obviously.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have to provide a remote, you know, or like
right, like a controller? Is it VR?
It's like interact. I don't know how it's like. I don't know how it works. I've been meaning to check out the one they already have out because it's what I'm interested in. They partnered with Trivia Crack, that thing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and they have one on there. I haven't tried how it works yet, but like I bet it's pretty interesting.
There was a cool game we kind of played with, like, you know, when we had like a couple friends over or something. It's like Knowledge is Power. Like it's on the PlayStation. That's a fun game too. Yeah.
A Republican rep for, I think he's in the House, or I don't know what he's in, but he went through the airport and forgot he had his loaded pistol in his bag. So,
like, I have a buddy like who's a gun guy, you know, like he just not a gun guy, but he owns one. Are you guys gun guys? I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do, you know, with a gun. You know, not for me, but
I'm the clumsiest person alive, so I don't need any gun.
Dude, all right, you're gonna love this. Yeah. No gun for my future. I just went to the bong shop. I break a bong once every month. Like I am literally right here, I just like spasm and I just knocked it over, and it's just so brittle glass, and it's just like, God damn it.
I'm sure this sounds a little bit like probably your wife says, but you got to find a place for it. And then
like I have it on my desk where I'm doing everything, and I'm just, God, I don't know.
I've gotten a new bottle of cologne for the past 3 Christmases and broken it within a month.
All right. No. I've been able to hold on to that, but yeah, it's always devastating when glass breaks.
Dude, the cologne hack I had when I was little, sorry to interject, but my aunt worked at Macy's and was like the girl that would be like, you know, and she would always hook me up with like the hottest thing since I was like 14 years old. So I was so used to it until like college, and I was like, wait, these things are like $60 now. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Right.
One time I didn't even know it broke, and it was in my toiletries, and I shoved my hand in there to get something, and it went through the hole and just cut up my whole thumb. It was at the lake. It was at the lake getting ready in the morning, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to wrap my finger up, and it was awful.
I had a weird injury just happen to me. Like I was golfing the other day and my new fetish is walking. I've got one of those push carts. It's like, oh my God, you get a walker's high while you're doing it. And you know, when you're driving with your buddies, he drives off. You can't, you have your clubs with you, you know, so it's just a fun experience. But it was like 40 mph winds, you know, fucking freezing. I'm walking and my dumbass had like cloth shoes. So my feet are just swamped. And I don't know what it was. I bought socks at the pro shop, but I didn't put them on until after the round because I was literally walking in 2 fucking puddles for feet. And I just like put these socks on. And then the next morning, I couldn't even walk. I literally, my entire foot is like calloused. The bottom of my foot is like still pruned. I have it non-pruned. I can't even walk. All right, some more tea.
So I guess DeSantis is trying to shake things up in Florida like he already is, but Florida has officially voted to strip Disney. Disney had a special self-governing status where they can make their own rules. Florida has voted to strip them.
It's everyone just backdoor deals, and when you piss somebody off, it's just crazy how, you know, power you could really make someone sweat by just doing something. I saw the governor of Texas, Abbott, was like, "Hey, Disney, come to Texas, bring your theme parks here. You know, we'll take you."
He tweeted that to Elon too.
That's right. Yeah, heady play by him.
Oh yeah, he's trying.
That it'd be nuts to see them move a park, but I don't think that's about to happen.
It's probably not feasible. Yeah,
I think part of it was that Disney for a while was still doing the masks because they're their own thing.
I also have no idea any statistic or anything about like the deal, so I wonder what the main kickers were.
They probably had an insane tax break that now they're just going to take away, especially in Florida.
Oh yeah, they probably had. I mean, they've been there for so long that yeah. But there was a car crash in Missouri on the highway, and 2 cars collided, and 500 pounds of weed fell out.
Just a car? Like it wasn't like a pickup truck or something? Or
one of the cars was struck. Yeah, it was a car that they had it, and they'd made it all the way from Mexico. So I don't know how they crossed the border. Yeah, I don't know how they crossed the border, but how do you? I don't understand that.
Dude, they're saying that like drugs actually came from Mexico, because like here's why. Like I'm just imagining that these guys had picked it up on their way, and they came from Mexico because. Like you said, there's no way they just crossed with 500 pounds, but what do I know? I guess. I
wonder if they had to have run, right? Like, did they leave this? If you just see your fucking, you know, shit that you're easily taking max years in jail with, just flying out of your car because you, you know, probably made a driving error.
Yeah, I don't know. It says Missouri State Highway Patrol said the 3 passengers in the vehicle were smuggling the bags of marijuana from Mexico.
Jesus. So, side note. Worst state income tax, Illinois. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they gouge you there.
15%.
Something I learned. Go ahead.
You buy property over there, but you don't have your income.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's the key. You got to have a second property in Florida.
Something I learned after being in New York this past weekend that I didn't know, that as expensive as it already is, my sister pays New York state tax and New York City tax.
Oh my God.
What the
Denver was like that. Dude, Denver was like that.
Really?
The worst 3 here. Illinois, Connecticut. My parents, what are they doing? Just shelling out money there. New York. Those are the top 3 or worst 3.
I don't know how bad it was, but I remember looking at it and it didn't hurt that bad, but I was like, oh, well, that's dumb. I was like,
yeah, that's so dumb.
Damn, I thought Texas was pretty good. They're rated a little bit as high. You know what I'm saying?
For what? Is
income?
It's saying effective total state and local tax rates on median U.S. household income, I imagine. So like Illinois.
I thought Texas didn't have income tax, or is it property tax?
I think it's property.
Yeah. Local tax rates, so whatever that could be. All right, we're getting on a tangent.
CNN shutting down their new streaming service after less than a month of being launched.
This is
That was-
fascinating to me because it's the streaming wars and it's like, okay, content on demand. News on demand doesn't really work the same. Like what I have to hear from everyone's taking who is that? Chris Wallace. Everyone's like, dude, he was supposed to be the star of CNN Plus, left Fox News, I think. And now it's like, okay, what are you going to do now? Rex Chapman had a show on CNN Plus. That's all you had to know was like, okay, yeah, this is probably not going to work out. I'm shocked that they Quibi lasted longer than them. That was
the gas pump hack. I'm gonna go ahead and claim this to be that it used to be a thing.
Interesting.
That like some gas stations tried to implement, but it never really caught on. So it like
I'm gonna go test this out later. I just got gas, but will you, the listener, test this out eventually? Write us up.
All right. That was just some short tea this week. I have some suggestions. This new 6-episode show on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but my mom said it's awesome. It's made by the person who made like The Undoing and that stuff. It's called Anatomy of Scandal. It's a British crime show, but it's about like this politician there gets like accused of like a rape or something, and it's just like one of those crime shows that there's like a big twist and like it follows his like downfall and stuff. It's like a made up show. So it's like one of those like Mayor of Easttown or like an 8-episode show.
Have you ever seen Wind River with Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
I watched it for the first time a couple of months ago. It's crazy.
I still have, we watched it when it came out and I still like, have nightmares about that
movie. I have like a bad taste in my mouth from watching. Like, I almost wish I didn't watch that movie, dude. And I was living in North Dakota at the time. Like, shit, dude, that's the life on the reservations. Like that is a part of the U.S. I do not intend on revisiting ever again in my life.
Isn't it nuts?
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Wait, where are they again? Alaska?
For what? Wind River?
Yeah.
Wyoming.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd go to like Jackson Hole or somewhere like that.
Yeah, that's in like Montana. Like I think Tucker Carlson lives in Montana. Like there's some ritzy spots where like a lot of money goes.
Dude,
Jackson Hole.
Low key, here or you heard it here first that there's a lot of developers trying to like blow up like Montana and even Wyoming and stuff, and like those little towns make.
I'm also the guy that's saying, dude, climate change. Instead of lighting yourself on fire, just think smarter. The reason I love living in Minnesota, one, the summers are great, and the winters stink, but it's only going to get warmer. And it's like climate change is move north. I still maintain Miami's going to be underwater eventually in 10 years, but it's like, hey, we're eventually, I'm looking like shit. I'm seeing fires in Colorado. It's like, where is the optimal place to live where you're not dealing with earthquakes in California, shitty taxes there. It might be Montana. Montana might be, everyone's moving up there. We'll see.
And then the next one that I'm for sure going to tune into, if you're into like serial killer documentaries, is the same person who made the Ted Bundy tapes. It's the John Wayne Gacy tapes about that dude who like used to dress up. He was a clown and he used to he killed and mutilated like over 20 like little boys, like fucked up shit. But that shit's always super interesting.
I don't think this is going to be a stupid statement, but like serial killers have to be at least getting closer to extinct just with the age of technology. Like people were just running rampant, in like the 70s and 80s.
It's so hard now to be a serial,
right.
It is pretty much near impossible.
Like you hear about like that shit that was going up on the East Coast where that dude was just shooting homeless people. Like I was, and like that immediately like got, caught everyone's eye, trended, and then they found him, tracked him down. Like that reminded me of like some Dexter shit, where like this guy is like has this impulse to kill, but like he just takes it on. He has to get rid of it. He takes down homeless people.
Speaking of that, something that my sister was like when we were in New York in the subway station, she's like, you notice how everyone is like standing back against the walls right now. Is apparently recently there's been some homeless dude running around who like how people like peek to see if the train's coming. He's just shoving people in
Oh
front of the
yeah, that's
train.
right. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like in New York City, the unprovoked attacks on Asian Americans. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
That's so messed up. And
Yeah.
there's like such a history there that I feel like
Well, that history is fascinating. We don't know that,
Yeah.
but like, there was a point where like our great grandfathers were at war with just a different race. Like that's just like, think about what that can instill into your mind where you're like
Dude,
literally
the pictures of like Koreans and Japanese, I think it was like protecting their storefronts in LA with like guns mounted on top like that. It's like, what? Like, that is nuts.
Well, there was an episode of 24, I remember, and like right after 9/11 was like, there was an episode where they depicted basically just two drunk guys beating up like a Muslim guy on the street. And it was just because it was like, it was so fucked.
That's
Montana, third best state for taxes. How about that? See you guys all there in 20 years.
Dude, low key, I'm gonna be buying property in Idaho. I've been on this Idaho game for 2 years now. I'm convinced.
Get some fresh fries.
Yeah.
And then last show I have is Ozarks Friday, and then there's a new crime show coming out on Hulu with Andrew Garfield that he plays the cop, and it's based on a true story, and it is called Under the Banner of Heaven, and it's about like a true murder, but it's like another one of those shows that's made up. But the trailer looks really good, and that comes out Friday as well.
Those are the selections with Jack D. You can view those on CorbettSports.com right there for you on the homepage. And of course, at the end of each episode here on Winging It. How underrated is Andrew Garfield as an actor? He's money, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I think he's going to play that very well.
Another one of my 10 out of 10 movies, The Social Network. Not one of my 10 out of 10. I watched the new Spider-Man. Dude, I thought the first and second were better. I thought it was too much was made about. I think people more enjoyed that all three Spider-Mans were together over the course of it. Like that boosted the movie's rating, I felt like, in my opinion. Like, I don't know.
I still haven't seen the newest one. So
yeah. It was like that was the key point of the movie.
You said it's not top 10 though?
I gave it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was overrated, but that's why I get chirped on TikTok for my things like the Batman, which I do want to rewatch here. Maybe I'll get to that this week.
Dude, the at-home watching is definitely
I'm gonna give that a go. I'm gonna give it a second try. So I literally have it written down to watch that and then the Christopher Nolan Batman.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it, Alex and Jack. Winging it. We'll talk to you next week.